Hello, listeners. This is Tys. Pardon the interruption, but we just wanted to have a quick word before we start this week's episode and our discussion of Saturday Night Fever. Now, this film contains countless moments of physical, verbal, and emotional abuse towards women, as well as scenes of rape and attempted rape. Now, we had not seen the film before, and we were quite shocked by these moments, so they do make up a substantial amount of our discussion on the film itself. We appreciate this discussion may hit pretty close to home for some of our listeners, so we thought it was maybe best to put this message at the start of the episode and allow you to decide whether or not you would like to listen. If you do choose to continue playing, we hope you enjoy the episode. And feel free to continue the discussion with us on social media or at nicktysonvideotape@gmail.com. We feel that there's definitely a lot to unpack in this one. And lastly, thank you to all our listeners, as always. We sincerely appreciate the continual support of our show and all the regular engagement with our social media pages. You're honestly the greatest. We love you all dearly. On with the show.
Hello, Tyson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 130 of Nick Tyson Videotape.
130 people.
130 episodes. Well done, Nick.
Well done, Tyson.
We're doing well.
We are,
We're plugging along in this game of podcasts. You can find us amongst the 40,000 million other podcasts that are floating around.
And they are pretty, there's a lot.
There are a lot. I think we're
sure
at least as good as half of them.
Okay.
That's my selling point.
I don't get to listen to podcasts anymore. I don't have my commute is fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah,
which is a blessing and a curse.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I get maybe 3 songs to work, and then that's it. I'm done.
All right. Yeah. First world problems.
Yeah.
Nick, but we're very excited tonight. It's a segment that we very much enjoy doing. We call this one on our list. And that's because it's movies that are, cultural touchstones, I guess.
Sure.
And ones that have just fallen through the cracks for us that we've never gotten around to seeing.
And we will eventually.
But we will eventually, and that's one of the reasons why we invented this segment, is so we can have an excuse to watch some of these movies.
That's true.
We've had some fun ones so far, some not so fun ones.
We have, and
what have we watched as part of this? We watched 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
That was hilariously shit.
We didn't enjoy that. We watched St. Elmo's Fire.
That was also shit. But that episode, if you haven't listened to that, ladies and gentlemen, is one of my favourites because that ended really funny.
We do have a good laugh.
Yeah. And then
is that it?
Saturday Night Fever.
And now we're doing Saturday Night Fever.
Which,
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We have some thoughts.
Good Lord.
Nick, why don't you tell the people where they can find our show?
Oh, sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining in. My name is Nicholas. This is my good friend Tyson.
Hello.
We do a film podcast because we love film quite a bit. So if you are listening to us on any given platform, please subscribe, rate, review. Reviews are a bit thin on the ground, people. Come on, man.
That's it.
Chuck us a review.
I even put the call out last week and we didn't even get one.
Are good. You guys are great. You guys are good. Nick is shit. Tyson is good. Do something like that.
That's all we need.
It's all we need.
Just some writing.
Nick, put some pants on. Do something like that. That's funny.
Pants Off Podcast.
Pants Off Podcast. Other than that, you can follow us on all the socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are on YouTube.
We are.
We do have a Gmail account, so if you wish to write us something, it's nicktysonvideotape@gmail.com.
That's correct.
And Tyson and myself are big fans of the Letterboxd app. If you don't know about it, get on it. Apart from that, Tys.
Yeah, well, what are our handles on Letterboxd?
Yeah, if you were to follow Tyson, Tys is TYS_videotape, and myself is NIC_videotape.
That's it. Nick, let's start the show as we always do.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk some trailers.
Everybody's talking
trailers. It's good. I feel like we're
snapping it along.
We're getting back to a well-oiled machine again.
You want to make it a quick 60, don't you?
I do tonight. It'd be lovely. Do you know what? That's probably a bit ambitious. If we can pull this
I got a lot of pages.
in an hour 30.
An hour 30. All right.
I reckon that'll go well. I think an hour 28 is like our shortest ever episode.
Really? What was that?
I can't remember, but it's something. We do have one in the hour 20s, but that's it.
I remember Stand By Me being quick because we were like, yep, that was
quick. That was about an hour 35-ish.
That's good.
That's
good. I like this like that. Yeah, it was.
And we did have that one episode where we had a technical malfunction. We released half an episode.
Oh. I do not remember that.
And that went for about 40 minutes. Somehow still got
a lot of clips.
Pretty good downloads.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so today we were hoping to talk about this trailer last week, so it's a bit of old news now. But we had the trailer for
Candyman.
Yeah,
let's watch that.
Candyman. The urban legend is, if you say his name 5 times while looking in the mirror, he appears in the reflection and kills you.
Who would do that?
Candyman. 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 Well, we're still alive. Let's go. Trina, you broke the door. This isn't funny!
I feel really connected to this neighborhood. Cabrini Green. It was the projects. I just moved in around the corner.
The old candy factory.
I'm an artist.
You looking for Candyman? He's the monster that's part of this neighborhood.
Why are you drawn to this?
I'm hoping to spread the story all about Candyman. The mirror invites you to summon him. You should say his name. I dare you.
Candyman.
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 Don't say that.
Candyman.
I think I made a mistake. I brought him back.
Candyman isn't real!
Something's happening to me.
He had a purpose for you. To be another one of his terrible stories.
I guess he found me. I am the writing on the wall. The sweet smell of blood. Be my victim.
This is not real. It's not real. Candyman.
All right, so Nick,
Tys,
have you seen the old Candymans?
I have. It was back in the video store days, and me and my friend Adam Cook, Adam, if you're listening, hey, what's up? We back and forth the horror section. It was our favorite section.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I watched because there's quite a few of the originals, I believe. I think there's 4. I could be wrong.
Right.
And yeah, I know there's
definitely 3.
There's definitely 3.
Is there a 4th?
I don't know. But yeah, we watched it back. We watched all of them. Yeah, Candy. No, there's 3. So we watched all of them, and they were okay. Nothing grabbed me though. I remember bees. I remember the guy who plays Candyman in the original. I don't know.
Tony Todd,
which I believe, yes, it is still Tony Todd.
As Candyman
in this remake. Yep,
really?
Yep. They've got him back. Which him to me, if I see him in anything else, I'm like, oh, it's Candyman. You know, he is stable. It's like putting Robert England in a film.
Sure,
shit, Freddy's in this thing. You know. But yeah, did you see them, Tyson?
No,
nothing.
Haven't seen a thing. So
right.
I've, it's everyone is aware of them, of course, and I've, this is one of those things because of we've talked about this in passing before, but because of my late affection for horror films.
Uh-huh.
And it was not because I didn't want to watch them, it was because I was too afraid to watch them, and I had this kind of they were always scarier in my mind, and so I couldn't bring myself to actually watch stuff. So I knew a lot about these movies because I would read about them, and I would look at pictures, and I'd read the backs of the covers religiously and examine every corner of it, and kind of put myself in a tiz because I was it was
you built yourself up, Tys.
Yeah, it's just it was a weird time in my life. And I blame it all on.
Oh, sure. Here we go.
It's a mixture of Scream and then the remake of The Ring. They're the two that I blame for having real issues with horror movies for a while.
Good remake. Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
So you didn't watch them? Okay,
No,
so
no.
you've never been tempted, because I watched them when I was a teenager, and tempted to because in the original, I don't know about in this one, but in the original, you said Candyman in the mirror 5 times, but you had to turn off the light while you
God.
were in the room. That's what brought him to you.
Sure, you couldn't do it with the lights
You could
on.
do it with the lights on, whereas in watching this trailer,
That's terrifying.
They're just, and that's the thing. That's what made it fun. So you're a kid. I think I was like 15. I think I was 15 at the time, maybe 16. And I knew of what you had to do. I hadn't seen it yet.
Right.
And
So you've done Candyman into the mirror.
I have done Candyman in the mirror. Yeah. Yep.
You're a braver man than I, Nick.
Yeah.
I'm exactly like that woman in the trailer who's like,
No,
don't you say it.
Don't do that.
Don't you say it.
Beetlejuice.
Somehow I'm less concerned about Beetlejuice. I'll be like, that's fine.
I'd be saying that every 5 minutes. If that thing was through, I'm like, Michael Keaton, what's up?
Come on, let's hang out.
What's going on?
But yeah, so what did you think of this trailer?
Well,
though,
I
Nick?
didn't mind this.
Yeah,
This
me
is kind
neither.
of giving a really nice take to this, because
Yeah.
you've got it looks to be quite a very heavily African American cast, which is nice, a nice feel to it.
Yeah. As I said, I haven't seen them, but I know that the original was very concerned with the underprivileged African American race in
sort of like
the projects of where were they? Was it like Detroit or something like that? I can't remember.
But yeah, it was very much like that. I know it had a lot to do with voodoo. I remember the second, the second one especially.
Oh, when they always try to explain stuff in the second ones.
What's going on?
Sure.
He used to practice voodoo and things like that.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, and also looking at the original, the projects were built. It's sort of the take on the Indian burial ground thing.
Okay, sure.
But it wasn't an Indian burial ground. Obviously, it was something else, and that kind of spawned whatever's happened.
Cool.
So yeah. What do you think of this?
I think it looks great.
Yeah?
I really like the way the trailer has been edited, and the trailer itself is kind of its own little mini movie, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Wasn't it?
I love the choice of. We've talked about this. Sometimes I'm not digging the slow, sad remakes of pop songs.
We were,
but
this one,
I'm digging "Say My Name" with the Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child in there.
It's very cool.
Say My Name.
It's very reminiscent of the Us trailer when it used what is it? I Got 5 on it or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Which had a really similar effect, I think. And I love how we don't see Candyman.
No. Well, you do. You just don't see him in full.
We don't see him in full, yeah. So
It plays with it. It's
It
good.
really, he's just in the corners of frames, and you're kind of like, oh, did I see him in that reflection or not? And
you'll see a bit of a hook, and that's it.
yeah, a bit of a hook, and then maybe even just like a really quick flash, and it appears as though that the main character, who is a guy I don't recognise, I think he's been in a TV show, I want to say.
Okay. I couldn't say that name. He's in Us. He's in Aquaman. Jeez, he's in a lot. Watchmen.
Oh, right. He was oh, fuck yes. He
Striking
was
Vipers.
Manta in Aquaman.
Oh, really? Black Manta, was he? Damn. I still haven't seen Aquaman. I'm going to watch that. I do like that. You know what I do like? I do remember especially from the first and this one, you can tell from the trailers that the hook looks scary. You know what hook doesn't look scary? I know what you did last summer. That's a boring hook. If you're going to come after someone and make it, and your weapon is a hook, have the hook be scary. This thing looks like it has fish guts. It has disgusting
Pretty
things on
nasty.
it. Even at a scratch, you're going to get some kind of virus.
You'll need a tetanus shot.
Exactly. May not be the coronavirus, but you may get something.
It's kind of like it's got like a weird kind of ripped up pointy bit at the end as well.
Yeah.
Looks like it'll do some mean damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like how the idea of it's like the main character is kind of seeing himself in Candyman. It looks like there's some element of maybe he's been
possessed or something like that, or
Exactly.
maybe looked into it a bit too much, therefore the spirit is invoked in him or
yeah,
something.
maybe he's becoming the Candyman.
Very Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
Yes, nice. Have
I
you heard
like
there's a
it.
doco coming out about that?
Yeah, there already is one.
It's called Scream Queen or something.
Yeah, that's out.
Is it out?
Yeah, that's out. It's been out for a little while. Yeah,
I saw
still haven't
I
got
saw
around
there's a
to it.
screening of it coming up with the actual guy.
Yeah. He tours
I think
it.
at the Queer Film Festival.
Yeah.
I'd be so interested to see that.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Because of that, it's really interesting. Because of that, he got typecast to the shit, and didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his career didn't kick off, and he kind of doesn't blame it, but it. He used to go around to gay bars, and they'd be playing Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
That's wild.
In the gay bar. Yeah. So good.
Yeah. We'll talk about that one day we'll do an episode on that one because it's fascinating, that story.
Such a good movie.
But yeah, this looks really, really great. Directed by Nia DaCosta, who I haven't seen any of her films yet.
Yeah.
There was one that sounded really interesting with God, I love it, from Valkyrie from Thor.
Tessa
Thompson called Little Woods, which I'm really interested in.
Cool.
It's written
Tessa Thompson, man.
Written and produced by Jordan Peele, who's obviously someone I'm very interested in at the moment.
Cool.
I think this is going to be well worth the watch. I love the look of it.
I'm in. I wasn't a big fan. Like, if you're going to pick a horror movie for me to watch, I'd rather revisit Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 or watch something. But this is kind of, because I'm not going back to Candyman. I wouldn't watch that again. Child's Play, on the other hand, I'd rewatch those because I've only seen up to 3 and I've heard the rest of the shit, but I'm going to watch them all.
No, I've heard.
But
I've heard some of the later ones are really interesting.
That's
like
what I
the
heard.
Cult of Chucky is that the last one? Maybe something like that.
Curse of Chucky,
Seed,
The Child.
Yeah, there's a couple of recent ones that I've heard are actually not that bad.
Right.
But yeah, this is like, because this is also not a remake, I appreciate that it's, kind of in the same continuity.
Yeah.
And so it's obviously, back in the day, Candyman was the thing, and now it's kind of like people are aware of it. And
So it's a fourth. Are you saying it's a fourth?
Kind of.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's a sequel.
A continuation,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah, but not a direct sequel. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to pitch it. And, a couple of other films have tried that to lesser success.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's the way to go.
Yeah, man.
So I'm
Bring it
glad
on.
they've chosen that and not just gone, it's a full remake,
Full
and people
remake,
are staring there going, who's this guy? What's this guy with the hook on his hand?
Yeah, I hate that shit. To retell the origin story again.
Exactly.
Friday the 13th remake, you suck.
I've never seen that, I'm going to be honest.
Actually watch it because there's a death scene in a tent which is messed up. It's fucking messed up.
Not the one where he picks... Oh, no, that's the sleeping bag one where he picks him up and throws him against the tree. That one. That's from
It's in a tent.
9 or something, 8 or 9.
Yeah. But yeah, I will definitely watch this, Tys.
Me too.
Yeah, man.
I'm keen. Very keen.
Very keen.
But that was that it?
That was it, Tys.
All right, well, let's move on to our feature press, Nick.
Feature press.
Let's do it.
And now for our feature presentation.
All right, Nick.
Yeah, Tys.
Staying alive, indeed. So it's on our list, Nick.
Tyson,
I thought we might mention, what is it about this movie that we haven't got around to watching it yet? Is there a reason for you that you haven't got around to watching it yet?
No, I remember. I remember a time where it was on television. Credits were rolling. It started with him walking down the street. I was like, "Oh my god, it is time for me to watch this! Finally, yes!" And then I got called away straight away, and I was like, "Oh fuck."
I'd be fascinated to watch the made-for-TV cut of this because there is some stuff that would not fly on commercial television.
Hey man, bring it on!
What, they're just letting C-bombs go?
They're letting all the C-bombs.
No, they're not.
Letting everything.
Nah.
Should we let the cat out of the bag at the start, Tyson?
Sure.
Were you a fan of this film?
No. No, I was not, Nick.
No,
what about you?
It's a flat no for me.
It's
got some
There we go. There's a response. If you are a big fan of this movie,
sure,
and you've tuned in, so excited to hear Nick and Tys talk about it,
maybe.
Well, I do apologise because this is going to be not the conversation for you.
Probably not. We didn't see a lot of good features, standalone features. So we didn't see any
redeeming features.
Look,
I will say there are some.
Sure,
there are some elements of it that I can see where it's kind of developed this cult status and this. The thing about it is that every good thing I read about it, almost, that's a generalization. Most of the good things that I read about it are in relation to the dancing and the music,
which are amazing. Those moments,
it is. There's something really wonderful about the sequences when they're dancing. They really are quite engaging, despite the fact that the movie stops for a dance routine.
Yeah, which is rare, man.
Yeah, it is
full rare,
and not even like a really particularly impressive one either.
It's not. You're not looking at like very hard choreographed scenes.
No,
like
no.
You remember Center Stage, where it's the only movie that I can think of where
Sure.
the movie stops for dancing.
Yeah.
Center Stage was heavily choreographed, heavily like not edited, but edited so that you're seeing all sides of this dance. Whereas this, it was kind of, you could see that he had some moves. And then they were just like, okay, we're just going to play the music, you just dance.
Well, it was literally like it was local disco moves.
Yeah.
It was that cultural revolution I find very strange is that everyone got onto a dance floor, they had learnt the moves to these dances prior.
Yep.
And
it was the time to bust them out.
And it was like the Nutbush all night.
Yeah. I fucking hate the Nutbush.
Exactly. It's not for us. This is not what I would never. I've done the Nutbush. Don't get me wrong. I've done it, but I could do without it.
I know. I'd rather be doing anything else.
What I found,
probably not watching Saturday Night Fever. But,
this is one of the things I will say that I watched the first half of this with Rachel. She checked out. She had enough. She couldn't do it anymore. And then I watched the rest myself. But one of the things she did mention as well is she's like, they're not even smiling while they're doing it.
No, because it's cool.
So serious.
Disco is
but
cool,
they all just
man.
get up on the floor and it's like, all right, we're going to do this.
Yeah,
we're going to fucking do it right.
Yeah, you gotta do it like. I remember there was one scene. I think it was when. Do you remember when he came in and he put his arm around the two girls and danced?
Oh yes.
And then one of the girls said, "Kiss me," and he did. And then they started, and then Annette kind of wiggles her way in next to him, and then all of a sudden it just pans out and everyone kind of joins. That was a kind of nice sequence. But everyone has a face which, I am doing this and I am badass, right? And then it wide shots to the point where the guy in the front, who is clearly an extra, has the biggest, most beautiful smile on his face.
Oh, bless him.
And he's just a champ and he's just happy to be there. And I'm like, oh, you don't get the point. But we're going to cut back to John. Here we go.
Yeah,
And
that sequence where they were all like, there was 16 or 20 of them doing the same routine. They looked like kind of like they were in a trance almost, and it was very. It was
just a shuffle.
I was just like, I don't want to be there. I want to be at a different
No, you're
place.
going to be cool. It's a very
well, that's
cool
what I mean. I think
mode.
we missed all that. We obviously missed disco.
Yeah, we did.
I think if anything, it's just shone a light on for me that maybe disco was a bit more.
You wouldn't have been disco?
Serious than I like to think it was.
Oh, sorry?
I was under the impression that it was...
disco was a bit more fun.
It was fun.
Right.
Like, people were
Okay.
doing it because it was heaps of fun.
Okay.
It
Well,
appears
it
as though that
was.
people were doing it because it was like...
No, but
they considered it like a real fucking art.
Oh, yeah. It was, well, not an art, but it was a way of life.
Yeah.
It was disco and nothing.
It's not for
But that's
me.
the thing. Like, in the 70s, and I always have this conversation with my wife, in the 70s, you were either punk or you were disco. And my wife is beyond... She's hardcore punk. Me, on the other hand, my collar...
Would you have
out
been disco?
And my platforms are high. Let's just say that. I used to take a hairdryer to my hair countless times.
Nice.
I
I would have been Zeppelin, and
You would have been. Oh, you would have
been that era.
The hard rock.
I would have been the hard rockers.
Yeah.
I would have been sitting on beanbags.
Right.
I would have been
Long hair
smoking
and just a
joints,
fucking massive
listening-
belt buckle.
Yeah, huge belt buckle,
Yeah.
tight pants, but with the collar, like with a shirt that
little
just
bit of
all
shirt
the way
out.
went down to the neck goes all the way to the fucking bottom.
Yeah. I think I would have morphed into that,
Long
but I would
hair,
have
dirty long
started
hair.
it. I would have started at disco.
Fair enough,
Young
man.
Nick would have started. At
I would have
disco.
laughed at you.
That's fine. You can laugh, but I'm cool with my moves.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I know you got the moves.
Yeah.
I know where it's at. But yeah, so other than... And we do need to mention the soundtrack.
Oh,
It's the fucking Bee Gees.
everyone knows it.
It's
Everyone knows
iconic. And I knew these songs. I have no association with this movie, and I love the Bee Gees. It wasn't like
Yeah.
this movie made me love the Bee Gees.
No.
I just love the Bee Gees. They're
Yeah.
fucking great at what they do.
Great.
They write
that song is
amazing
made
songs.
for walking, strutting.
Yeah.
That song is made for it, and you get that at the start. I'm like, yes. Such a good start too.
This movie started with a lot of... I was excited.
We're off. Okay, let's go. Come on, here
Yeah.
we go. Yes, get that pizza. Okay, all right, let's go. Fiver
you just
on the tee-
double fucking double stacks
You
it.
have to. Have you been to the States? The things are fucking two handfuls.
Yeah, I love it. Give me two.
Give me two.
Just puts them on top of each other. Double decker.
Double decker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Puts a fiver on a new shirt. Gets going to work. I'm like, this is fucking
Love it.
hysterical.
Got that
I
away?
am loving this
I trust
shit.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was really on board.
You were in, right?
I was in from the beginning.
Yeah.
And he does show... it's hard not to... If I talk about generally why I didn't like it,
Okay.
I can then illustrate maybe some of the little reasons that showcase that.
Yep.
But I think generally on the whole, I feel like its statement about what it's trying to say about youth culture and determination and escaping, mundanity of kind of lower middle classness.
Yep.
I think is
making it to
overshadowed by some of its really poor character choices. And I think that's a big reason why I don't like this movie.
Okay.
I can see its goals.
Sure.
But I think that most of the decisions it makes on the way negate those goals for me. Okay. Like, I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, I see what you're trying to do, but you also made your character do this, so I'm kind of not on board with that as a result anymore. Yeah. So that's a big reason. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because in the first scene, when you see Tony checking out a few ladies on the way and, being his charming self and getting up in their face and being a bit, come on, let's dance. Yeah. And you're like, oh, he's a bit of a, he likes it. He's got a bit of confidence. The ladies love a bit of disco.
That was in my head.
Yes.
Like in the 70s, yes, that would have been, but now.
Well, but this is the thing, even by the end of the movie, you reflect back on that opening scene and you're like, he's on a rape hunt.
Yeah, the guy's a sex pest.
He's an actual sex pest. We've made this joke before, and it's probably an ill taste. But you're right.
The man is a sex pest
because he's just basically going up to chicks, being like, "Hey, I am a sex god because I can dance disco. It would be a privilege for you."
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that was littered throughout this film. Women threw themselves at him constantly.
Yeah,
and it was he was very. I didn't know how to take it. He was very, I'll throw you a bone. Sure, we'll dance. Yeah, I'll throw you a
100%.
Yeah.
And even to the degree of being taking the piss out of somebody.
Yeah.
There is the character, I can't remember her name, Paulette.
Are you talking about the girl at the car in the end?
Doreen. Sorry?
Doreen.
Maureen. I was close.
I did write notes, Tys.
The forehead wiper.
Yeah. She was lovely. I thought he was quite genuine there, though.
Okay.
Did you think that?
No.
Okay.
So here's the thing. They are presenting this character who is maybe a little simple.
Sure.
And they kind of dress her in a way and do her hair in a way that is very oh, look at this one. She's a bit special.
She comes in every week,
and then they get her on the floor.
But he does, all the guys were like, oh, why don't you do her a favour? Why don't you dance with her?
No, but they're taking the piss.
Are they taking the piss?
It's a big old gag to them. It's hilarious to them.
I wanted to...
And then he kind of dances for a bit, and then he's just like,
no, he doesn't dance. They change the song, and he goes, fuck off, and goes...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they don't even get the chance.
No, gets nothing. Yeah, I didn't like that.
So, yeah, look, I think generally this movie, the way it treats its female characters is appalling.
100%.
And I think that's a problem that is hard to get past.
Okay.
Don't you think?
No, yes.
I want to be able to say, look, it's telling a very particular story, and it's also a very particular time in society when women probably were treated this way.
They were, 100%.
And I'm not saying that that's not an accurate representation of it. I'm saying that when you're watching it now, it makes it really hard for you to empathise with any of the characters that treat the women this way.
Yeah.
And that hurts the movie in the end because
100%.
I don't give a fuck about Tony Manero.
No.
And that's a problem.
He's a righteous piece of shit.
He's not a nice
just
dude.
A fucking asshole.
And I know that's kind of the movie's point.
Is it though?
I think it is. The movie is presenting his story as not one of glamour. We shouldn't be idolizing this person.
Okay.
We should see the faults that society has imbued in him.
Sure.
Is that a word? Imbued?
It is now.
Good. And this movie is the journey to him discovering that he has been an asshole.
Well, that's what I thought where it was going.
Yeah. But I just...
End of this movie, I really don't think that has happened, though.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that
has.
I don't think enough of that has happened. I don't think that is... I think it's still really wishy-washy. Yeah. I still think that he's clearly in shock by the time he's having this conversation with Stephanie. Spoilers for the end of the film.
Yeah.
He's clearly in shock after what just happened.
Yeah.
And
doesn't know what to do.
So
he goes somewhere that isn't what he's used to or where he would like to be. And
he goes to the only person that
But he doesn't like her. He doesn't like her. You can tell by that one scene, that first Tony and Stephanie coffee scene. There was no spark there. That was horrible. That was awkward.
Yeah, it's strange that it's like it's billed as this kind of romantic movie where
it's not romance. That was not romance.
I don't buy their relationship very much at all.
Yeah,
whether or not, but this is what constantly happened to me, and I think we were saying it before because we did both have struggle rating this movie.
Yeah.
Is that I look at these things and I consider them problems with the movie, but perhaps they were intentional.
Well, that's the thing. If it's intentional, then this is slightly maybe a masterpiece. Does that make fucking sense?
But that's what I mean. But can
this is meant to be that hard watching?
I think so. I think what's happened...
They did this on purpose.
I think... Do you know what I think a lot of what has happened?
Yeah.
Is that too many people remember this movie...
As the dance movie
with John Travolta, and isn't he so hot, and look at how good he can dance.
How fucking good are the Bee Gees.
And the Bee Gees are the
soundtrack
best.
Kick fucking ass.
And so we go into this movie with a certain expectation, and that expectation was literally burnt in flames.
Which is literally me watching it. Like, I went in on this thinking, great, I can't wait. This is going to be Grease. I'm going to be dancing. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be, courting lovely ladies on the dance floor. It's going to be great. I'm going to be loving it.
I knew it had some, like, stuff to deal with. I knew that it wasn't, like, completely sugarcoating everything.
I didn't know that.
But this was...
And then it culminated in a rape.
Yeah, this was extreme levels of what I was expecting. I was honestly gobsmacked with just the way they talked about the females around them, the constant use of the C-bomb, the complete dismissal of any of their feelings whatsoever,
the racial slurs that they were using,
the racial slurs,
which was the time we understand, but still, and then on top of that, random slashes of homophobia. And what the fuck
just
is
general
this
homophobia. And, hey, man, don't go hanging shit on David Bowie.
Yeah.
You're not going to win points with me.
I love that bit. Yeah, but he likes boys. He's like... Yeah,
he swings both ways. He likes men and boys.
He likes men and boys.
Ha, ha.
What the fuck?
But you also get this, and the relationship between his parents, which is obviously meant to be demonstrating the, what the cultural time when lower middle class families, the way that the female member of that family is kind of pigeonholed into being, no, you stay home, you do the dishes. The way he cracks the sads when she even half mentions about going to work. The flippant kind of spousal abuse that just comes across as like day to day of it. It's like the way she's so accepting of it, all that kind of stuff, right? I think it's all probably true.
No hitting tonight. That was that was a word that was a sentence that was said.
No, it was no hitting at the table.
No hitting at the table. I was like, shit,
it's like,
right.
Right. So it's obviously happened before. They've had a conversation about it and said, okay, if you get so mad that you can't not hit me, just don't do it at the table.
Let's walk away.
We'll go somewhere else and then you can beat me up there.
Fucking hell.
It's all bad, right?
It's bad.
This is what I mean. I think I'm not saying you can't have a movie with that in there.
No.
But you can't also have a movie with Bee Gees, you make me feel like dancing. And at the same time, because what ends up happening is that we get mixed messages.
Maybe that was the point. And do you think that was the point?
I don't know, but they're trying to make me like Tony Manero, and I don't like Tony Manero.
Exactly. They're trying to fuck with you.
Like, at the end of the day, he hasn't earned this second chance.
No, he hasn't. At all. Like, at all.
And there needs to be an element of a good person in there, and I don't see it. I don't see it in there. I see a kid who is completely swallowed up by his surroundings and has been defeated by peer pressure, by the cultural surroundings, all that kind of stuff. Who maybe finds something in dancing that is a release for him and an escape for him.
Mm-hmm. But through that's where the movie should have taken its thing and taken its lead from there and gone, well, no, we're going to see the kind of redemption or whatever from Tony's character. So when the movie, spoilers for anything, when the movie ends and they win because of, what do they call it? Insider
trading.
Not inside trading.
He just had more friends there that night, so they ended up.
Also, it wasn't because of that. It was because the people, I love the fact that they danced. The people after him, the Spanish couple who danced, were way better, and it was very clear that was true.
Yep.
They were the clear winners, but because they were Spanish, and Tony and his friends were white, the white people got there because it was wrong part of town. When they got up on stage, that beautiful Spanish couple, one of his friends said, yeah, wrong part of town, and then they kept dancing. Tony was blown away by their dance moves and knew that they were the better. That's why he gave him. From that, he got pissed at his friends because his friends didn't back him. He said, no, we all know who was the better dancer there, and you guys aren't true to my face, so you know what, fuck you. And he gave the trophy to the Spanish couple and the $500. And I thought, yes, here we go. It doesn't make any of the movie okay, but if you do this, then this is the start of where you go from.
Yeah, it's character growth.
Exactly.
You know, he's given up on he's turning a corner.
And then he went outside and tried to fucking rape Stephanie.
And then he tries to rape Stephanie.
And I was like, what is this movie doing to me? Oh, and then on top of that...
And then it's completely... Well, we might as well talk about it now, but then it's completely inactive during a gang rape. A girl who has...
Which he is present for.
Yep, which he just sits and allows to happen.
Of a girl that he has either had feelings for or something.
Or at least...
a relationship with.
He's had a relationship with her, but unfortunately to him, she's is nothing.
Yeah.
She is a completely... she's
still a human being.
She's a fly on his windscreen.
Exactly. And she's still a human being. And him to do nothing and just sit there makes him even more a piece of shit, and you don't fucking care about him. Once that's done...
This is obviously meant to be kind of the catalyst for everything, but the problem with it is that... he's... we have probably what is the most, really uncomfortable, evil act in the film.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which then kind of gets overshadowed because one of his mates died.
Yeah.
And so we don't really get the opportunity to address
what just happened. Yep.
It's kind of so he, that is catalyst enough for him to go, I can't believe I'm part of this.
Yeah.
I can't be part of this anymore and go. But it's not. He hangs around until one of his mates dies. The mate that he should have helped when he asked for his help. It's like...
I reckon she was going to, by the way.
Yeah.
She ran out of the car. She was going to jump.
Yeah.
100%.
But there's a selfishness to him saving her anyway.
Yeah.
It's not out of
No, he's not saving her.
He doesn't
because
want
he likes her.
Yeah, he doesn't want her to not die because he believes that she's a good person and deserves more than that. He doesn't want to have to deal with that. They don't want to have to deal with somebody killing themselves on their watch.
After she sits up in the car, he says, "See what you brought on yourself. Are you
exactly
happy now?" Jesus, man.
I mean, that's it's just, and I mean that's it. We have at that point in the movie, we have 10 minutes of the movie left. There is no time to fix that.
No,
he is done in my book, and it's just impossible to
he was
see.
done with Stephanie.
But you start to you maybe see I mean, obviously, post the Stephanie moment. Because there's no time left in the movie.
No, exactly.
Because he sits on the fucking subway and has a dart and some Bee Gees plays.
That was random Bee Gees.
That was bad choice of Bee Gees. Because they kind of went, we need a somber Bee Gees song. So what have we got? What do you got?
What do you got? We've got what was the song?
It was If I Can't Have You. Was it that?
That's not Bee Gees. Is that Bee Gees?
No, it's
I forget what it was. God, it was funny though.
Oh,
it's random Bee Gees.
I see it's but how deep is your love?
How deep is your love? Just watched a gang rape.
Exactly.
And my friend just suicided. How deep is your love?
That's it. They I reckon they went to the Bee Gees songbook and said, guys, we need something slow and sad. It's we got nothing.
We got nothing.
That's not what we do,
We've only done one album. Sorry about that.
We're all about having a good time.
We are.
I don't know.
What is this movie about?
Sorry, did we license our songs for this movie?
What? Gang rape?
Sorry, what?
It's a full pass.
Oh, God, there's way too much awful stuff in this movie to talk about. We're meant to be a fun podcast, Nick. We're
all right.
a comedy.
I love that you do this, Tyson. I love that you do it. It's okay. We can talk about fun things as well. We can find the fun in here.
But I feel it's almost disrespectful to talk about fun stuff in this movie because it's
Well, this is the thing. Were they intentionally doing it?
No, but they're all intentional choices. I don't think they sit there at the end and expect us to be like, Tony's the best. I'm so glad he got out of there. The problem is that the culture of the film has built that.
Yeah.
You talk to so many people who are like, oh my God, John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever.
Such good dance moves.
Oh my God, such a good dancer, so hot. No, wrong.
Gang rape.
Gang rapist.
Gang rape. Homophobe.
Yep.
Racial slurs.
Yes, maybe
Racist.
Maybe was a product of his upbringing and all that kind of stuff, and this is a movie that comments on that. But you cannot glamorize that. People should be talking about this movie as a sad,
yes,
very truthful and
almost
disturbing.
disturbing.
Like, why is this not in the same conversation as like Irreversible? Everyone talks about, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, what's the most uncomfortable thing you've ever had to watch? And it's like the rape scene in Irreversible. It's fucked, and it's so confronting and just like fucking.
Really, really.
Why
really
aren't people talking about the final 10 minutes of Saturday Night Fever so that you get the kind of so that people understand culturally? People go, oh. Is that in that movie?
Yeah.
Is that what that movie's kind of building up to?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's not Danny Zuko flying off
exactly.
in a
It's
fucking
not the
red car, which is
prequel to
badass.
fucking Grease. It's not the birth of Danny Zuko. This guy's going to become fucking Travis Bickle.
Exactly. This isn't Danny Zuko. What happened to the Danny Zuko I met on the beach? No, that's not him. No, wrong.
Oh my God. He escapes to Australia. Is that where they're holidaying at the start of that? No, Is he holidaying in Australia? No, she's somewhere else. Yeah. So he goes to the beach, meets. Oh man,
exactly.
terrible.
Goes to the beach and I've got just to spin it around because we are spiraling down and down. So just the crux of what Tyson and I have been talking about. This movie was great, and then it takes a hard dive. Well, not a hard dive. It slowly chips away and just becomes a fucking awful movie to watch. It becomes a movie that we weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, I, in the middle of this movie, thought, you know what? Take this movie out and put it into the Warriors world. And this is a movie about the Jones Street Boys, who is an actual gang in the Warriors, and either the Jones Street Boys or the Electric Eliminators, which were they were the disco guys of the gang.
Yeah.
And what you've got is the birth of them in the Warriors land, because they go off and do a gang fight with the Hurricanes. They weren't called the Hurricanes. I'm taking that from the Warriors time.
In this one, it's the Barracudas.
The Barracudas. Yep. Bang! There you go. Change the movie around. It's not called Saturday Night Fever. It's called Electric Eliminators.
This brings us to, this is an interesting point as well.
How's that?
So if any of this kind of, if these elements existed in a movie like The Warriors, or even, like, I'm trying to think of, like, going way back, something like Rebel Without a Cause, right?
Sure.
I'm trying to think of older movies that dealt with youth culture.
Oh, okay.
I was even thinking of The Outsiders after this, and I was like, why is it that things like this could happen in a movie like The Outsiders? Mm-hmm. There's death in that. There's really ill treatment of women in that movie. Mm-hmm. You think of Warriors as well. Like, there's a character in there that flat out is just like
a fucking rapist.
He doesn't give two shits. James Remar, he'll rape whatever.
He doesn't care.
It
really doesn't.
We're really accepting of that stuff in those kind of movies. Not accepting as like a thing, but we understand its narrative purpose.
You know what you're going in for.
Yeah.
It's not happy disco, Bee Gees, and then all of a sudden culminating in a rape. It's not that.
Yeah. Is it just simply because it's mixing two things that just probably don't belong mixed?
I think it's literally what you've said, because everyone thinks that Saturday Night Fever, great dance moves, good soundtrack.
So maybe
that's what they've taken from it.
If we were aware that this was a really tragic story that has, like, if people talked about it as like, man, this ending's really fucked up, and it's like blah blah blah, and it's like, I know it's got the Bee Gees and disco dancing, but that's really not what the movie's about.
No.
Do you reckon we would have gone in with very different expectations and may have had a very different experience watching this film?
Yeah, maybe.
Isn't that interesting? I blame everybody else for not liking this movie. It's not my fault.
Exactly. Me too.
Everybody else.
This is the one episode, ladies and gentlemen, where we blame you.
We blame you, the listeners. Why didn't
you tell us what was going on before we were going to watch this thing?
No, do you know what
Maybe
it is?
Just a quick tweet, throw it our way. Hey, by the way, guys, maybe not get your hopes up for, Danny Zuko, the dream to be alive, or something like that.
Yeah,
something like that.
Hey, it ain't. I know everyone talks about it, but it ain't the Bee Gees love fest that you think it's going to be.
Exactly.
It's not the scrappy underdog who makes good on the disco dance floor. No, it ain't that at all.
Gets the girl, wins the girl's heart with his dance moves. No,
it's none of that.
It's none of that.
This ain't no Footloose. This ain't your mama's Footloose. That's what it is.
Jones Street Boys, Tys.
I like it.
Did you like that?
Yeah, but that's going to make. That would totally. I don't know. Maybe this movie just doesn't need disco. Why does he have to be a disco dancer?
No, because it was in. It was cool. It was so cool. So cool. I What else have we got?
Oh, look, my notes are just depressing, to be honest.
I know, but we've talked about most of my notes. I've got little things. I've only got little dot points left.
Sure.
What was the? Oh, here's one. Going for a dance in 1977, which is when this movie was made or released. Sorry. Having a chat. Now, I before the ending happened, my two most interesting characters to me were Annette.
Yes.
Who is the poor lady who I don't know what she wants, but she wants to be noticed by him. She wants. Well,
she says that she's legitimately in love with him, but
yeah,
I think it's
something.
I think it's just that
more mixed than that. She doesn't understand.
There's an element to this movie that is presenting that to the public around Tony Manero that he is something to be idolized, and that has gone to his head, and that is part of his problem. Is that he feels like a very big fish in a tiny, tiny pond, and so she idolizes him, and I think has confused that with love for him because he treats her like absolute garbage. It's probably not love. It is infatuation with what he represents, I think, and what she desires. She wants to be that good like that kind of dancer, the person that can stop the disco on a Saturday night,
right,
and have everyone idolize her.
My other favorite character was what was the young man's name who jumped off the bridge at the end?
Bobby C.
Was it Bobby C?
I believe.
Okay.
Because it was Double J. There was Double J, Bobby C.
Was it Gus?
And then a couple of dudes that are not important.
Okay. His story throughout was really, really sad. Like, I thought that his story was quite good to watch. All he wanted was someone to talk to about what he was going through.
Yep.
He had gotten a girl pregnant.
Yep.
He didn't know what to do. He had to. Back in those days, you didn't want to have a child out of wedlock or whatever it was, and abortion was obviously illegal still.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it was the Italian family expectations as well. I don't think so. I think there would be other cultures where out of wedlock's maybe not that huge a deal.
Okay,
but I think that real strong Italian Brooklyn culture and upbringing. Yeah.
So he was conflicted with himself. He wanted friends. He knows that he was the underdog of his friends, and they kind of just kept him around because it was his car. They were literally using him for his car. And then
fuck chicks in the back seat.
Yeah. And then the end. Oh God, how fucking messed up was that shit?
Oh man, I'd never get in that car.
Like seriously,
never.
The start scene where hey man, can you get what's her name out? He's been in there for 20 minutes. Can you just get him out? They go, knocks on. Hey, your time's up. She hasn't climaxed yet. Just wait a bit. They all watch.
They're totally fine just to check it out.
Just fucking watch. And then cool.
Also, they're 19 or something. In this
they're
film.
19.
That is
mind blowing. Anyway,
mind blowing. Excuse me, this is going to make a noise.
That's right. They're using him for his car, right? Yes. And then the scene where he lends the car to John Travolta.
Yeah.
What's his name again? Tony. And says, "Hey, can you call me? I need to talk to someone about this. Are you sure you're going to call me?"
Yeah.
And then he starts bawling his eyes out in the street.
Yeah.
This poor fucking kid. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
All he wanted was someone to talk to. He tried to talk to Tony's brother, who was a ex-father or whatever, man of the cloth, whatever. And
yeah, he just needed someone to talk to. He needed anybody that he could. But he says, yeah, I've talked to everybody.
I didn't believe him.
Well, I don't know if it's maybe that he just has not gotten the right answer that he wants. Yeah. He wants someone to tell him that it's okay to not marry her, and it's okay. Like, it's a dog act, but like fundamentally, it's okay.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get that answer from anybody, so I think it just keeps. But I mean, this is the thing. Like, I want to be sympathetic to his situation,
but he's just
as influenced by his peers as Tony is.
He doesn't do anything.
He doesn't have
Sits in the car.
Yeah, he doesn't have the agency for it. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have any moment where he kind of shows any better than what his surroundings has made him.
No.
So yes, while I'm with you, I find him a very interesting character. Still not a likable character, and still not somebody that I want to see succeed.
No.
And it's as harsh as it is. I kind of watch a movie like this and just go,
"You're a waste.
You're all just, I hope you're all just rot." Like, because you brought this on yourselves. Like, it's, you know, yes, cultural and all that kind of stuff, and it's probably narrow-minded to say, you know, sucked in, you live with it. But, you know...
It's all right. They all died of AIDS in the 80s.
God. But in a movie like this, you kind of want to see a glimmer of something. Give me something. Give me something I can latch onto, because at the moment, you're all pricks.
You got nothing.
And I want to be concerned for your plight, and I want to feel compassion for you, but you're giving me nothing.
Did you like Stephanie's character?
Not particularly, no.
Was it because she was annoying?
Or I think she's incredibly. She's just as deluded as the rest of them. Like, but she's just the one that's she's put a pretty face on. I don't mean that because she's female. I mean, she's dressed up her insecurities and her lack of success with a bottom rung admin receptionist job.
Yep.
Just happens to be in Manhattan. But she hasn't escaped.
She's making
anything. Is she, though?
She still goes back to the disco on Saturdays.
That's it. I think hers is her kind of her intelligence and like it's not so much intelligence. Her class. She presents herself as a level above them as far as class and culture goes, but she's not.
She's dressed up.
It's a dressed up. Yeah. It's a fake kind of.
And I was kind of,
and so that frustrates me because we do get it to a certain degree, but we don't really see that moment.
Exactly. There's not a scene in there which is where the coffee was going to come in, where she kind of let the curtain down a bit and show that she is actually from. Where are they from? Where are they?
Brooklyn.
Is it Brooklyn?
I thought it was Brooklyn.
So so she shows that she is like a girl from Brooklyn still, and just dresses up to act like she isn't.
I was waiting
for that scene.
I thought maybe Tony would call her out on it at some point, and that would be a cause of conflict between the two of them. But it never really is.
She doesn't get called out at all.
No. If anything, she
talks about how she used to be back there and I'm above that now and all that stuff. I've got a new job and I talk to all these great people and stuff. The people that she meets, by the way, are fucking phenomenal. I want a job. But
I mean, is this I'm under the impression that this is her kind of like meeting, and I put that in bunny ears.
Yeah.
Like she's in a corner cubicle and they get to the foyer and meet some of the bigwigs and go to, and that's her talking about meeting these people.
They walk past her. Yeah.
Which, you know, maybe that yes, it is a step above, but there's no moment between her and Tony where she comes to terms with, she really voices her kind of her struggle with escaping the life that she's come from.
Because she hasn't really, though.
That's what I mean. I think she's deluded. I think she thinks that she's gotten away, but she really hasn't. She's only gotten away in like.
She's a couple of train stops away.
Yeah, she's put up the facade of escaped, but hasn't really. And kind of calls out Tony for his bullshit. And it's like, I thought it would actually be a kind of a place where they'd find equal footing.
Yeah.
And they would have that conversation and say, yeah, look, you're still stuck in it and you want to get out. I'm pretending that I got out. We're still always going to be struggling. But there is none of that. No. It's just, they even to the end of the movie, they present her as being the one that got out. And I find it...
isn't.
No, but that's what I mean. I find it really strange.
And it kind of... What cements it is also the fact that apartment's not hers. She's just staying there. Like, that whole interaction with that other guy, that was fucking weird. That was weird as hell.
So he's just some dude that she's obviously been sleeping with a little bit.
Yeah.
Because she didn't know what she was doing when she got there. I suppose that's her kind of breakdown of saying, I don't actually know what I'm doing, but...
was it?
Yeah, it's... I don't know.
Okay.
I'm torn because I feel like this movie is half getting there. Like, I see what it's trying to do, and I see those moments, and I'm like, but you didn't fully realise it.
You didn't succeed.
Because it's missing certain kind of amounts of storytelling kind of, direction, I guess.
Yeah.
Where someone has to walk in and go, hey, I know what you're trying to do here with this guy, but we need this, because we can't get to this point without that. We just can't.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I remember in one of the first scenes, while you're talking, you've just had a dance. Let's say you're John Travolta, you're a piece of shit.
Just imagine if you will.
Just imagine
Nick,
if you will.
that you're a piece of shit.
Just set yourself back. You're John Travolta. You're a piece of shit, but you're a very good dancer. Your hair is on point.
Oh, mate,
Maybe one too many chains around the neck. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, one's enough, isn't it?
One's enough. I thought one's enough. No, we're going to go with a thin one and a thick one.
Two's overkill,
Two's overkill. You go for a dance, and then you go for a drink in this other section. You say hi to this girl. How about we have a drink later?
Yep.
Annette, who, is pining for your affection, sits next to you. You're having a conversation with her. And then while you're there at the local disco, a lady who is standing on the bar strips naked. Did you see that fucking scene?
Yeah, I figured that they went somewhere else.
No, that was
Is
the
that
same
in the
fucking
disco?
bar.
So there's just a strip club attached to the disco?
There's just a section where a woman
there's
gets
just a
topless.
section?
Yeah, it was another section.
It's another room at least.
It was another room, yeah, but it was the same bar.
It's the same place. I thought that they maybe went next door or something.
No.
Okay, well that blows my mind.
I was like, and then
That disco's running double duties.
Seriously, and then Annette, in her beautiful way, looks. It was such a hilarious moment. She goes. She's like pines from him. He goes, oh damn. Then looks up at the girl who has all of her clothes off.
Yep.
Checks out her chest area. Looks at her own chest area and goes, yep, still got it. That little moment of like, yep. I was like, oh okay.
Oh, I missed that.
You missed that completely?
That entirely.
Oh my god. I was thrown. This movie threw me hard, and I did not expect it at all.
This movie knocked me on my ass.
And then we get a conversation right after that where they're rehearsing. This is the other thing. The amount of rehearsing in this movie worked up to the point where were they going to win? It was about a competition. At the crux of this film, it's about a dance competition because that's what you keep seeing.
This is
It's one of the parts. It's one of the parts of this movie.
Yep.
We're rehearsing. We get a new partner. We're rehearsing. We lose. Like we win, but we really lose.
Yep.
Like it was such a bizarre non-event. It was so bizarre.
It ends up meaning very little in the grand scheme of things. Yep.
While he's rehearsing with Annette when he hasn't changed over yet.
Yes.
To Stephanie. She's asking, are we going to, in their slang terms of Bronx way, I'm not going to say it, but are we just going to have sex or are you going to be my girlfriend, basically? Like, that's what they're talking about. And he doesn't want to be at all. Because
I don't think he even wants to sleep with her.
No, he doesn't want to sleep with her. Because he said, and in his words, I'm not going to say the word because you'll be bleeping a lot.
Yep.
But he says, are you a nice girl or are you a C-word?
C-bomb.
And I'm like, Jesus. Wow. So not only do women get treated like shit in this, you can't have sex if you're a woman, and you can't be a nice girl and have sex because that's wrong.
No, and it completely. So I've read a review. I went and had to read some shit after watching this because
who did?
I couldn't understand how. For me, I was finding it really difficult to understand the admiration for this film.
Sure.
So I went and read Roger Ebert's review. Roger Ebert is a film critic that I absolutely 100% respect. He obviously misses the mark sometimes as far as my taste is concerned, but generally, even if we disagree, he writes a fucking good review and explains his points really well.
Right.
And he considered a big part of this movie to be about the culture of the certain kinds of men that do not know how to see women as anything other than an extension of their own wants and needs.
Right.
Right? And that a big part of that was this backwards idea that you want to have sex with them, but as soon as they have sex with you, you no longer want to have sex with them because they're the kind of woman that would have sex with you. And I found that really, really interesting.
Spot on.
Spot on, isn't it?
Jesus.
But this is where I kind of get a bit iffy.
Okay.
If a movie presents that, but doesn't really have anything to say about that, other than, hey, check it out. This sucks, doesn't it?
Is it really saying it, though?
Is it really doing anything?
Or is it just putting it there?
And so that's...
To have sex in the movie.
Maybe this is...
Or to talk about sex in the movie.
Maybe this is my big problem with the movie, is that I feel like it sets up a whole bunch of things that we could talk about, but just leaves them dangling in the air.
Yeah, right.
And doesn't do anything with them.
Then?
Yeah, it kind of just goes, hey, here's this thing. What do you think of this? And it's like, well, I think it fucking sucks. And the movie goes, cool. I'm not going to address it again, but I'm glad you feel that way. And then we move on. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it's...
Cool.
Hey, man, that's cool. Do you want to listen to some Bee Gees? You make me feel like I don't know why I'm singing that one. It's not a Bee Gees song, is it?
Anyway, that's not a Bee Gees song. What are you doing to me?
I don't know. It was on the soundtrack, wasn't it? Because the soundtrack had a mixture of some non-Bee Gees as well.
It did. There were some good songs in there, man.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
There were some really good songs. Would you go to that disco?
No.
I'm done with my notes. I'm done with this film.
I've got a few other random things to talk about.
Wow, you got more? Okay.
No, because I feel like we've just been fucking talking around in circles. No, I would not go to this disco.
You wouldn't go?
No, disco's not for me, man.
Oh, come on, man.
I don't like clubs. I don't like...
You don't like clubs?
No, not even one little bit. I never got into the club scene.
Not even back in the 20s?
No.
When we were 20?
No.
Damn.
I would go to the occasional Goo. Do you remember Goo?
Fuck me, yes.
I
never
Metro
went.
on Thursday nights.
Yeah. Which is currently being torn down as we speak.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's
Melbourne
it.
heritage right there.
I
Not
might go
Fair Square
to...
at all. Yeah,
I
sorry.
had a little stint where I'd go to Bobby McGee's on a Monday night.
McGee's!
Apparently
Shit.
Monday nights were the way to go because you'd get like, what was it, like $8 Illusion shakers or something?
Jesus Christ. Illusion.
And everyone would just be vomiting green.
Jesus Christ. That is Illusion Mix is New Year's Eve 1999 for me. I cannot taste that. It's disgusting.
I fucking love Maduri Illusions, though. I'm going to be honest with you.
Are you still?
Now, here's the thing about Bobby McGee's. This is a terrible story, but cast your mind back, if you will, to 2001. Right?
2001.
Maybe 2002. So Bobby McGee's on a Monday night. Oh, yeah, they've got it right. Denim was banned. No denim. No denim allowed.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Now, but this was before the days of chinos being cool again.
Corduroy, man.
So, do you know, like, that's what it was. You either had to wear, a neat corduroy.
I wore a thick
corduroy. Or you were wearing, bad, suit pants. And this was in the era of non-fitted pants.
No.
So suit pants were, straight up and down.
Yeah. It was like you were going. You just got out of jail, and you had to go to to court.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you'd have suit pants and those shiny tight shirts.
Oh yes, I had so many of those shirts. The second year, me and my wife got together. She was like, "Oh, what the fuck is this shit?" She's like, "I didn't realize you liked Wet on Wellington, Nick. That's kind of cute."
Yeah,
I was like,
all right.
God.
Well, and so that's my clubbing stories. I gave it away pretty quickly,
pretty early,
because I realized I was not made for clubs because I was not.
So you'd be more of a live venue gig.
I am a bar person.
You're a bar person.
Yes, I like having a conversation, having a beer, listening to some music, maybe playing some pool. It is.
Okay.
I am
you
not.
never got up on that dance floor.
I would try, but I was garbage.
I came home drenched. That's how much
sometimes
drenched with sweat.
But I was also very insecure and was surrounded by much better in shape men who were probably my age but made me feel like a child. And so I'd just be kind of like, nah, I don't want to do this.
I was there to dance. And that's it.
Well,
you know what I did
feel
love?
the music, man. Feel the music.
I forgot the line. One of my favourite lines. They go to give him drugs in the car. He just gets picked up. This is at the start of the movie. First 10.
Yep.
Start of the movie. Do you want to drop now or should we drop later? No, man. I'm going to drop later. I live for the fog. I was like, oh, this movie's going to be the bomb. He lives for the fog. He's talking about the fog on the dance floor, man. How good is that? That's a stellar line right there. Does he fuck it up? Yes, blazed? He does. Why? Because he fucking rapes someone.
Yeah. Let's never forget. Hashtag. Yeah. And I actually had this feeling when I knew we were going to talk about it. I was like, God, I don't want to be that kind of I don't want to be like a personified fucking junkie article. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey guys, Saturday Night Fever is totally hashtag problematic. No, but because I want to fucking strangle those people.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to talk about a movie like this now.
Well, we didn't know. The people who do listen to this podcast know that this segment is called On the List. We didn't know what we're going for.
Yeah, exactly.
And had we watched this in the days of you and me at the video store,
yeah,
would have been a different story. Would have been a different take, maybe.
Yeah.
You know.
But
it still wouldn't have sat with us, but
I'm still amazed at this movie's popularity, though, because
I'm telling you,
we used to give away DVDs to this fucking thing. I remember Video Easy had a thing for a little while where you'd got a copy of fucking Saturday Night Fever on DVD.
What, for free?
I think it was like a buy this and you get this free. And
what?
we did that for a few different movies, and I'm fairly certain at one point or another one of the ones was Saturday Night Fever.
You know what? I don't remember Saturday Night Fever actually at my video store.
Oh, don't you?
I don't think we had it.
Yeah, I remember it was kind of a big deal when we got the DVD.
Oh, really?
Yeah, drama.
Drama.
Yeah, it's definitely in drama. I'm. If anything else, just for my own peace of mind, I want to track down the special edition of this.
Okay.
And I want to watch some special features. I want to listen to some commentary. I want to do something because I can't make peace with this movie until I really, really figure out what people were trying to do.
Amazing.
What else have I got here?
Get back to me.
I've got some funny notes.
Yeah, give me
He's
some.
an arsehole.
Give me
They're
some.
all assholes.
They're all assholes. Topless disco. That's it.
Oh, I wanted to go back to that. There was one shot in particular which I know they were trying to illustrate the difference in like the glamour lifestyle where they had someone dancing in a disco and someone dancing with their clothes off. But there's a very long shot of just the four of them sitting on a table and the girl without her clothes on dancing. And I was like, oh yeah, I get the point. Oh, we're still going? Oh, we're still going? It's time to cut this shot, guys, because now it's gone from making a point to gratuitously showing a naked lady dancing.
Yeah.
No, we haven't moved yet?
No, we're still going.
We're still going? Okay, thank God. We can continue with the movie. So what else?
Yeah, that was full on.
I think it's a problem that she's not a good dancer. And look, I'm not a dancer, but
you can tell she's
sitting
not good.
with and watching the first half of this with Rachel, who is a dancer and had been a dancer since a very young age, who immediately in the first scene when she comes out is like, is she the lead? She's terrible. And then the first shot of her in the dancing studio and she's doing ballet stretches and she's like, stop her now.
She was bad.
So
even I knew she was bad, and I haven't done ballet, but Jesus Christ.
I think it's a problem when you cast that in this character because she should be so good that Tony is mesmerized.
Exactly.
And that's the immediate attraction.
Yeah.
Because it's immediately first, the dancing, and then it's everything else.
Do you know who was a good female dancer? That Spanish girl who won and should have won, right? She was great.
She was awesome. Even Annette was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
Like Annette, I think she
Annette.
probably should have been. Anyway,
poor Annette,
that's enough.
Is what I'm saying.
I really appreciated the line. Do you know what $4 gets you? $4 doesn't even get you $3. I quite enjoyed that line.
That guy was a fucking arsehole.
The dad is a fucking arsehole.
I wanted a scene where I wanted so much from this movie. I wanted a scene where he could see that his dad was the issue with the family and beat the shit out of his dad.
Well, and at no point
like
I can't believe he didn't. Yeah, he just didn't. He could have just addressed it at some point.
If he's such a if he's such a hard ass, or he's that guy who goes around and maybe picks a fight, or wants to pick fights, or looks out for a gang and wants to cause them trouble, whatever. Have him get that anger inside him and go after his dad, because that would be. Something. More character building or something.
I'm not even saying I want to have like the dad kind of, apologise for being a shit dad.
I don't want that.
But Tony's got to say something. Yeah. Tony's got to say something.
Dad, you've got
more than, hey, don't touch my hair. I spent a lot of time on my hair.
Which I looked it up, which was actually John Travolta's line. He thought that cut.
Oh, right. He improv that, did he?
No, he didn't improv it. That was him saying. He actually worked on his own hair, and he said, can you stop smacking my hair?
Nice. Stepping up to the actors. I like it, John. Speaking of worthless characters that don't really play a point.
Oh, sure.
Brother? Priest brother?
Priest brother storyline?
Who literally waves from the club. Okay, I'll see you later.
I'll see you later, man.
No, we don't see you later.
Okay.
You're out of this movie, Priest brother.
See you, man. Yeah, he gets a goodbye scene, though, in the car when he leaves. And he goes, I left you something in your room. Remember that?
Oh, that's right. No, you're right.
And but you're right. What was the point of having the brother storyline there?
It's a shame because it gives them the opportunity to have one good argument with his mum about, guess what? Now all your kids are shit and you don't get your free pass into heaven like you wanted, which I think is obviously that's something really interesting and we could make a movie out of this.
Oh, we got a bit of a tidbit here. Oh, that's good. No, you've shat on it.
But having him actually be a presence in the movie and providing no direction or guidance to Tony, or even being able to be like a mirror image of Tony and see like there's nothing there. Like maybe we could see someone that did get out but it failed for them, and then we don't see any of that.
Or he tells his brother that this isn't all to life that there is.
Yeah.
He tried to say something like that, like, you're really good at dancing, man. You should do that.
Yeah.
Okay, see you later,
nudge,
bye,
wink,
man.
wink. Hey, you're really good at this.
Yeah.
Stop fucking around.
Do you know what? When you're watching a movie like this and it's getting to the point where you're bored and you're like, what is going on with this movie? In my head, I was like, you know what's going to happen? He's going to go to Manhattan. He's going to open a dance studio. He's going to be the teacher. Yes, let's do that. Oh, no, a rape.
I think it's such a yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? I thought that's what's going to happen.
Do you know what? And I'm with you 100% in that moment, in that conversation where he's like, everyone's dumping on everybody. My friends don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about.
Exactly.
You know, but also
I wasn't meant to win that competition. They won.
Yeah, but even in that, there's elements that you're like, oh, he hasn't quite clicked on yet, because he starts defending his dad in that conversation. He's like, my dad gets dumped on, and he's like, no, your dad's a piece of shit.
Your dad
don't go
needs to
sticking
get
up him.
dumped on. Yeah.
You know, but you're right. In my head, I was like, and the movie comes into focus.
Yeah.
And I see some kind of goal to all this.
Exactly.
And then
you're going to start a dance studio in Manhattan, and it's going to be badass.
Maybe that's,
and
maybe that's a bit too much of a
Studio
miracle.
54.
Maybe this movie's just designed to shit on us and destroy all our hopes and dreams.
Exactly. That's why we watch Grease.
And then we watch Grease, and all is well.
Exactly.
The last thing I had, because I can't bother talking about it anymore. But
you wrote major notes for this, didn't you?
no, look, that's not too many.
Oh.
And one of them is just C-bombs.
Yeah, I got a lot of.
I was like, come on, guys, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Actually, I've got one other thing we're going to talk about after this. So this is another thing why I think the movie is full of shit.
Yeah.
Is that Stephanie at the end talks about Tony being a person that she's like, I wanted to actually be around you because you gave me admiration and support.
Sure.
And I was like, no, he didn't.
No, he really didn't.
Not ever.
He made
passing comments about her being like, oh, yeah, you can dance. He did not admire you.
He didn't listen to your stories. He didn't pay attention to you.
He was 100% in it for his own personal gain.
He wanted to walk you home.
So he could fuck you. And he took that really personally. He didn't respect your,
No.
what's the word I'm looking for? Not individualism. Your...
Self-being.
Yeah. Well, what is it when you're okay by yourself? Were you good by yourself?
I have no idea.
Come on.
No, I got nothing. Independence?
Yes, thank you.
Oh.
Fuck.
Good movie, Independence.
Yeah, Independence Day. Didn't respect your independence.
No.
None of that. And also, said some really horrendous shit to you. So don't sit down and tell me that he was
really
full of support and admiration, because that's full of shit.
Yeah.
So it makes me kind of feel like, and I end up watching that last scene, like I said, which is meant to be this kind of maybe they're going to be okay. Maybe these kids are going to be able to do it. And it's like, you're just as deluded as each other.
Yeah.
He's in shock because he just saw his best friend throw himself off a bridge.
And
hasn't slept. So, we was fucking half cut 6 hours ago, so he's probably got a mega hangover.
And just tried to rape you and saw a rape
take place.
Gang rape.
Yeah. And you're obviously completely brainwashed because you feel like he's a good guy. And
you don't have anyone else? I feel like she doesn't have anyone.
Maybe she just doesn't have anyone else. And just, don't tell me he had a nice conversation about a bridge. That was, it just because
that was such a weird
he stops the car
too.
because she's crying.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's elements of that where you see a human being for a second, but they're all nullified by some of the other actions. So
Exactly.
you can't, whenever you sit there and go, oh yeah, but remember he tried to console her when she was crying. It's like, yeah,
No,
and remember he tried to rape her in the backseat of the car. It constantly comes back to the bad deeds, and I can't get past them.
No. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you.
Hey, do you know they made a musical out of this?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Right.
How does that end?
I don't know. So here's the thing. I was watching and I was like, this is partly why in my head as well, I'm like, I did not expect this movie to be this because they made a musical out of it.
Sure.
It's like making a musical out of fucking...
Grease.
Well, I mean, Grease, you make a musical out of Grease, it makes a bit of sense. People fucking get it.
Oh, you make a musical out of, Irreversible, the musical.
Exactly. I mean, it's a bad example. I wanted to find another example.
Find another one. Go on.
Requiem for a Dream, the musical.
The musical.
No,
Sure.
I'm not saying that musicals can't deal with serious topics. They can.
Oh, hell no.
Some of my favourite musicals are really deep, heavy shit.
Yeah, man.
My favourite musical, well, one of my favourite musicals, is about a guy that was accused of raping and murdering a child.
Right.
And it's a fucking beautiful piece of musical theatre.
Mm-hmm.
So musicals can be heavy. It's totally fine. But... there's no way they're dropping C-bombs in this. There's no way. I know there is an attempted rape in the musical.
Okay.
Yep. But there's no way the dialogue is going to be anywhere near as cutthroat as this is.
No.
It's going to be... It plays on cruise ships. It's like a cruise ship musical.
Oh, shit.
So
really?
you know that it's all about the dancing. It's all about the dance concert.
The rape scene can be done in silhouettes as well.
Well, it would just be... It's probably not even a rape scene. It's probably like
it's one of those ballet fights.
Yeah.
I love ballet fights, man.
I would say
I fucking live with that
more
shit.
than likely it'd be like he'd go to kiss her, she'd push him away and go, no, you can't. He'd go to grab her arm and she'd slap him. It'd be something like that.
Yeah.
because that's
That's the extent of it. You can do on stage.
yeah. Well, not that you can do more than that on stage, obviously, but not in a cruise ship. People aren't on a cruise ship to see this shit. Could you imagine if it was an accurate representation of it, and you're on a cruise with your family, and you're like, "Let's go see the show, kids," and they sit down at Saturday Night Fever.
Daddy,
and
what's
like,
happening to Annette?
holy
Oh,
shit.
she's fine. Look, she's fine. She's lying down. Fucking hell.
And then out they fucking trot at the end to stay alive,
Ladies and gentlemen,
stay alive.
remember-
Except Bobby C. He didn't stay alive.
No, he comes out at the end like
He comes
all in
out as
white,
like an angel.
Yeah.
Stop it, everybody's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Remember to tip your waiter.
That's it.
Fucking hell.
And it all worked out in the end.
God damn it.
Oh, fuck's sake. All right.
That was such a bizarre end scene as well. Not to bring it back to that, but it didn't eventuate to anything. I know I'm kind of reiterating what
It's a
you
scene
just
that I
said,
feel
but
like is
Jesus
meant to have
Christ.
hope in it, but I find no hope in
didn't,
it.
though.
No.
Like at all.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
what I'm really interested in is like I hope we haven't shat on this movie
No, see it and tell
to,
us if we're
like,
missing something.
in an unreasonable way. If it
Yeah.
because of these things we couldn't get past certain elements of this movie. If perhaps this is a movie that you feel that is the point and that's why you like it, then I can respect that
Okay.
as well and be like, yeah, cool. For I get it. This is a movie that is a very depressing movie wrapped up in a disco fantasy
Bee Gees.
to mislead you.
Fog.
But yeah, this is a conversation that I'll be really interested to have with somebody that really likes this film, and I'd really like to sit down with somebody and be like, okay, let's hash it out.
Let's chat. Yeah. I want to talk to someone who's seen this more than 5 times.
Like, is this anybody's? Yeah, who
Favourite
goes
film?
to this
'Cause
movie when they're
I've
like,
looked
oh
at
man, I
reviews of
watched
this,
it like 10 times,
and then like, yeah, this is my 4th watching. I'm like, 4th fucking watching, really? What are you getting out of this?
I don't know, man.
It boggles the
I
mind.
know people. I've heard people call this one of their favorite movies. I know, and that but I mean that doesn't mean like I like some depressing movies that, and there are movies that I would call my favorites that are really, hard watches for sure.
Yeah, man.
But
I actually really would like to watch 12 Years a Slave again. It's sitting there behind me on my shelf. It's just that I know it's going to be a hard slog.
Yeah, it's always,
and it's
of
not
course.
It's not a short movie.
no.
Yeah.
This is
But yeah,
also
I would
about
like
20
to-
minutes too long.
Yeah, it was, right?
Anyway. So that's just the way where the cookies crumbled this evening.
Exactly.
We
Or how the lines were snorted, if you will.
That's it. So our third, I don't know if it is our third. I think it's our 4th. I think we've skipped one.
Yeah.
I think there's one on there that we forgot to mention.
I think there is.
So yeah, as it turns out though, all of it's on the list unless this elusive other one that I've forgotten about was a different movie.
We haven't liked them.
We have not liked any of them. Isn't that interesting?
That's quite bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that
and we've
bizarre?
covered different eras. I mean, we haven't done anything. Saturday Night Fever is the most. Sorry, 4 Weddings and a Funeral was the most recent. That was 94.
Yep.
Has there been? And then St. Elmo's Fire, obviously 88
Summer's Fire.
or so.
What else? There's
87.
got to be something else.
And then we
on the
did.
list.
Yeah, I feel like we must have.
I'm going to look it up.
Well,
Let me look.
Yeah, have a little squiz. If we search,
On the list. Come on.
is it on our list or on my list? I think I say this every time.
I think it's on the list. Oh, mermaids.
Oh, we did Suspiria as well. We've done a bunch of these.
We really liked mermaids.
Beaches.
Oh, beaches.
We've actually done 6 of these fucking things. Oh, God.
Forget what. Look, we're simple gentlemen, okay? We like a good.
Okay, so we have liked a few. It's good.
We have.
Yeah.
I really liked mermaids.
I really liked Mermaids. I really liked Beaches.
I didn't like Suspiria.
I liked Suspiria.
No, I didn't.
But
my wife and her best friend frothed the remake. They were like, "You have to watch the remake." I'm like, the original's still fresh, so
I'll get there. Yeah,
yeah.
that's interesting. I might re-listen to that episode because right here, sitting down, I cannot tell you how I felt about that movie on the show.
Suspiria?
Yeah,
you liked it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Do you like the elements of it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I'm glad you remember.
yeah, I remember. Tyson,
Nick, is that it?
that's Saturday Night Fever.
Great.
Let's never talk of it again.
And yes, and be well. Nick, should we move on to our next segment?
Let's move on to our next segment. Jesus Christ. Let's move on to our next segment, which is...
Oh, what did you watch this week?
I like it. Tyson, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So let me have a little look at my diary.
You watched a few. Did you watch a few times?
Well, I actually even watched a few more than this, but I haven't chucked everything on my diary yet because I feel bad when I don't necessarily finish a film.
You know how to do it.
That I don't want to... I feel guilty putting it on my diary.
You only watched half.
So I fell asleep during a movie, which I was
can't do
really
that.
excited to
I never
watch.
do that.
I'll talk about it briefly, which is Heaven and Earth, which was an Oliver Stone movie right around peak Oliver Stone time.
Oh, wow.
That
Have you not seen
I
it
hadn't
already?
seen. Yeah, I know. That this is like the one.
You're a Stone man.
I am.
He's your guy.
And I really, really rate him, and I fell asleep. I was not digging that one at all.
Okay.
The other movie I want to talk about was I saw Yesterday.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
seen Yesterday?
I haven't. I would like to because of the story, because of the trailers, but I've heard a bit of mixed reviews.
Yeah, I did not like Yesterday.
Okay.
I feel like it'll be better conversation once you've seen it,
Right.
but I'll just say in passing that it is a movie. The best way I found to describe it was that it is a movie that constantly presents scenarios that I'm excited about and then decides to do the opposite, less exciting thing.
Right.
And it's amazing how many poor choices are made in this film, because there are every 10 minutes or so there is something that you're like, okay, we've got a movie here, and they choose the least interesting option to carry it through.
Damn.
And that's every turning point in this movie is the
Really?
least interesting option, and it's so, I don't know how they managed to do it. Like it's like a world record of some description that they kept choosing the least interesting option.
Okay.
But yeah, and so there's some stuff in it which was kind of like, it's harmless, I guess, but it's just kind of like, man,
not even one moment that made you give a tingle or
there's
choke
zero
up.
tingles.
Zero tingles.
Zero tingles.
No tingles.
No. I mean, they're the greatest songs ever written. And so,
To some people they are.
Look, I am
A massive Beatles fan.
massive Beatles fan. I'll like Die Hard. I believe everything about that is said about them.
Right.
And yeah, for me, I was even just watching it, kind of just going, I might just chuck on the White Album instead.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Snap. Okay.
So, but yeah, I'd be really interested. We should talk more once you've seen it, because we can get into some specifics.
Yeah. I'd like to give it a watch.
Because it is dependent on specifics. There are some choices that are just like, I'm just cannot believe that they were the choices that they made.
Okay.
What do you got, Nick?
Tyson, I am continuing my Bondathon.
Oh, yes, of course you did.
And I watched Thunderball.
Thunderball.
Now, in doing a little bit of research for Thunderball, this is the one where they realised, we got a bit of a cash cow here. We got a bit of a thing happening, and so what they did for this is put the money that they made for Dr. No, From Russia with Love, and Goldfinger, and made. The budget was as big as all three movies for Thunderball. Now, unfortunately, if you don't have a solid script, you're kind of left in the water. There were some great moments in this, though. Like, the underwater sequences in this movie were vast.
Right.
They were fucking long.
Yep.
And it's very hard to keep tension in very slow-moving fight scenes.
Sure.
Did they achieve it? No.
Okay. No, they did not.
No, they did not. But it was impressive for the fucking time.
Yeah,
it
sure.
really, it makes you... Things that they were doing in this movie, I stood back and go, fuck, that would have been really hard to do. You achieved it. Fucking well done. You kind of got to give it its due.
Yep.
It really was, of its time. It did a lot of things that Bond has never done before. You see all of the double O's in one room.
Oh.
You don't see their faces, but you see their chairs, and they're all sitting there. And of course, 007 comes in last because he's late.
Yep.
Because he has been, courting, if you could call it that. I'd call it, a Saturday Night Fever. But
That's the next.
that's how you're going to describe it. But yeah, it wasn't a kind of the end of the world type blue light in the sky type bad guy scenario. He wasn't kind of taking over the world. It did have to do with obtaining 2 nuclear bombs, which it was good, but yeah. So yeah, Thunderball was kind of it was a bit of the middle of the road.
Okay.
It wasn't, especially coming off the back of Goldfinger, because I really enjoyed Goldfinger.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was okay. So yeah, stay tuned.
So what's next?
You Only Live Twice is next.
I've heard that's a good one.
I hope so. I did dig. Thunderball was finally, because I love Shirley Bassey's Goldfinger.
Yeah.
Everyone does,
Of course.
But Thunderball's my man Tom Jones.
Yes.
And
It was fun to hear.
I fucking loved it.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. It was good.
Nice
And I
one.
realized, it's so funny reading about the Bonds and what they got away with. Like in the start sequence, while Tom Jones is singing the title song,
Yes.
you're seeing silhouettes of women and guns. You always do.
Yeah.
All of these women were naked, and it was quite clear that they were naked.
Right.
And the silhouetting wasn't that great. It wasn't a silhouette like you've shot a light and you're shooting the shadow.
Yeah, sure.
No. It was a clear screen over, and you could see stuff. I'm like,
Oh.
you know what? I love the 60s. This is great.
Well, this is I remember when I was a kid and like a James Bond movie would be on, and you'd be like I said, I remember it used to be like a family event.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, that's how I ended
Yeah,
up
you told
seeing
me
quite
that.
a lot of the Roger Moore ones.
Right.
But I always remember that feeling of sitting down and then the Saul Bass like intros would start, and you'd just be kind of like,
Am I allowed to
"Am
watch
I meant
this?
to be watching this?
Yeah.
There's some nudity."
I
there.
love hearing stories about when people used to grow up and nudity would come on the screen and
Oh,
what
man.
adults would do. Like Sam's parents would go, fast forward, and fast forward the bits with sex scenes in it. It's so funny. My family, my dad would just be at the other end of the couch going, "Whoop, titties."
Oh God. In my family there
What
was
happened?
the most like
Like the
thick, awkward silence.
Oh, Jesus.
Like,
That's
it
the
was
worst.
unbearable.
That's
No
the
one would
worst.
dare make a sound or move, because if you moved, it meant that you were...
If you move.
you were slightly uncomfortable.
Oh, don't move.
Do you know... This is really funny.
Go on.
Do you know how if suddenly you feel like you're not allowed to make a sound,
Yeah.
you need to desperately cough
Yeah.
or swallow?
Yeah, or fart.
So you'd be sitting there and a sex scene would start and you'd just have to sit there, and all you could think about is like, oh my God, I need to cough, I need to clear my throat, but they're going to think I'm doing like a sus because there's a sex scene on, so I can't make a sound. Oh God, I'm so itchy. Oh, I can't move though. I can't move because then it'll look like I'm being uncomfortable. I'm shifting uncomfortably because of the sex scene. So they were basically my
That was torture.
absolute torture.
Oh my God.
But I'm with you there, man. Good times.
Ladies and gentlemen, what did your parents do?
I'd love to know. This is fantastic.
I really would love to know.
Yeah.
What did your parents do when a sex scene came on the TV?
Oh, God.
Parents.
Parents.
What am I going to do? I'm going to go, look at that sun. Isn't that lovely?
I think
What are we watching? What is this, Saturday Night Fever? Turn this fucking shit off.
It's one of those it's one of those eternal questions of parenthood, being
Yeah.
a parent. I guess it's like, how do you react?
What are you going to do?
Because if you're too blasé about it, it's kind of like
Just gonna,
you-
my
you're
son's
maybe
gonna look
too
at me.
casual.
I'm just going to raise my eyebrows and nod. Look at that shit. That's good.
that's where it's at.
That's where it's at. That's baby making music right
I
there.
was gonna say, this is. You asked me
how you
some
make babies.
Yeah, we'll
making
we'll
babies.
go into details when you're about 12 or 13. But for the time being, just take a few notes. Any questions? Come and see your old man.
Anyone? We're good. Tyson?
Yeah, should we do our next segment, which will require a brief pause while we actually choose the title
Yeah,
for our
because
next segment?
let's choose a John Travolta film.
Let's do that. All right, so Nick, we haven't sung our popular theme song yet.
Which is
Crossing the Streams!
Yeah.
That was better. Last week was pretty disappointing.
It was.
I think we've picked up a little bit. So, Nick, we're actually going to recommend a John Travolta film that you can watch on an Australian streaming service for
That's true.
free.
Yep.
You don't have to do anything. But we're going to cheat a little bit. And
We are.
we're going to just mention two films
Two films.
where you can actually listen to some Nick and Tys while you're watching the film.
While
if you wish.
you're watching the film.
Oh, well,
actually,
straight
that'd
after.
be pretty funny.
Straight after, perhaps.
Yeah.
So I'm going to recommend currently streaming on
Yep.
Standby. On Stan
Sure.
in HD.
Ooh.
That's pretty exciting.
That is exciting.
1976's Carrie,
Oh.
which is I believe, John Travolta's kind of first big role.
Yes.
Obviously, he wasn't a superstar that Saturday Night Fever and Grease made him, but this was his performance as Tom. No, he's not Tommy. He's not
have
Tommy
no idea.
Ross. He's the other guy.
He's the other guy.
the kind of not very nice guy in.
Yeah, I remember it being a bit of
the original
a
Carrie.
Saturday Night Fever in that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a fantastic fucking movie though, Carrie.
It is quite good, isn't it?
We really enjoyed
We did.
that viewing. And if you jump back to our Halloween episode, our spookisode,
Episode
number 81,
Ooh.
where we do another one of our really exciting segments is Everything Old is New Again, where we take an original and a remake. We did look at Carrie from 1976 and the 2013 remake that I don't remember watching. So that really made an impact.
Oh, that's hilarious.
If someone like flat out asked me, have you seen that remake? I'd be like, yes. I think that's the best I
remember watching
could
it. I remember watching it. It was, we liked the... that movie kind of lands on the relationship between the mother and the daughter, and the first one did it way better.
100%.
Yeah.
So that was in October 2018. We did that as part of our October Spookisodes.
Nice.
So yeah, you can watch Carrie on Stan and then jump on and have a listen to our podcast.
I like it.
Nick, what do you got?
Tyson, I am going to throw it back to our episode, or a movie that you can stream on Prime Video.
Oh, nice.
It is way back in 2001 when, films were of a certain caliber. Let's call them maybe light shit. They were okay.
But that's a nice way to describe it.
But the movie was called Swordfish, Tyson. It was about a hacker, and there is an amazing hacker montage, which you should watch literally just for that.
Just chuck that on YouTube because it's really funny.
It's so good.
Hugh Jackman like punching glasses of red wine and getting real pumped about opening digital
hacking.
boxes.
Oh my God. It stars Hugh Jackman, obviously, John Travolta, and Halle Berry. And if you were so inclined, Tyson and myself also did a episode on it, which is which one is it? Episode 111.
111.
Which Tyson and I did back in September of 2019. The movie is interesting. I'd give it a watch only because it's such a great throwback to what movies were like early 2000s.
It's of an era.
It's of an era. It's got a great green wash to it.
The Matrix
wash, which a lot of movies had back then.
Yes.
Pretty sure there's a Fast and the Furious that has that wash.
I think the first one.
Yeah.
Has a bit of Matrix wash to it.
So good. But yes. Was it good? I'll let you decide. Watch it on Prime.
That's it. And then check out the ep.
And check out our episode.
Because we have some real fun with that one.
We do. Jeez, it was funny.
That was fun.
That was a good episode.
We've done quite a few John Travolta episodes, it appears.
We have. Stay tuned where we do Michael and Phenomenon back to back. I'm kidding. We're not doing that. I remember Michael being good.
I don't.
I read reviews now and everyone pans it. Says shit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
It's the one where he's an angel, right?
Yeah.
But like a tough,
a boozy angel.
Boozy. Punching darts.
Punching darts. He does. He punches darts. Yeah.
Okay, man.
John Travolta punches darts well. You see him in he
does Face Off.
In Face
Is it in
Off.
Face Off or is it Broken Arrow? Fuck yeah,
Broken
he
Arrow.
can smoke a
Because the Broken Arrow is where you see him be the villain, a proper villain.
Yeah.
Because Pulp Fiction, he was a bad guy.
Just a
henchman who
fucking
gets,
awful dude like in this movie.
Gets shot on the fucking toilet. No. He is the actual villain in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I want to watch is it From Paris? What's the
From Paris with Love
is that,
or something.
Is that the one? Where he's bald and he looks like a bad guy. He's holding a rocket
Yes.
launcher. I'm like, I actually want to watch that for some reason.
I think I tried and I just that was during that phase where like those
had a
Eastern
train in it.
European directors who were like doing really wacky over the top action films who had at one time or another had worked on a transporter film.
Yep.
And they're all terrible.
Yeah, they did Wanted and what's another one? One with the train went around the corner. I forget it.
The Commuter.
No, but that is one.
You're not thinking about Unstoppable, are you? Because that's Tony Scott.
That's
That's a good movie.
I'm thinking of what ends. Is it? It ends. Who cares?
I'm just going to double check who directed it and make sure I'm not making that up. Yeah, it's Pierre Morel who directed Taken. There you go.
Hey,
exactly.
Taken. Good film.
Sure. I think that's going to wrap us, Nick.
That's it, Tice.
Remind the people at home where they can find our show.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. If you are listening to us, thank you so much. If you would like to hit that subscribe button, if you haven't already, that we would thank you muchly. Apart from that, please do like, subscribe, rate, review, all of those things. We are on all the socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Other than that, follow Tyson and myself on Letterboxd. We would love it muchly also. which if you want to do that, Tyson is at TYS_videotape and I am NIC_videotape.
Exactly. And I feel like this episode might be one worth having a chat about if you want to get online and give us your 2 cents.
Please do.
We'd love to hear from you.
Please do.
Yes.
Next week, Tyson.
Next week, Nick.
We're going to leave it in the lurch. We're going to see what happens.
We got some things on the back burner.
We got some irons in the fire.
Yeah, we do. We got some very interesting ideas, and it's going to be a remarkable change of pace from this week, whatever we end up doing. But yeah, considering what we might have on offer,
exactly,
it could be a real fucking 180.
It could be. Or it might be a bit of the same.
Might be a bit of the same. You'll never know.
Exactly. A little column A, little column A again. It. Sorry about that. Sorry.
So we'll either, if you check the episode notes when this episode comes out, we may have the information down the bottom then.
That's
Otherwise,
true.
if it's still up in the air by then, just check our socials over the weekend and we'll probably be able to give you a heads up.
Yeah.
Nick.
Tys.
Hey, I just want to let you know.
Oh, yeah?
It's not under an hour and a half.
Oh, fuck.
But it's going to be real close. Real close.
It's not under an hour and a half.
No, but I think it's going to be real close to it.
Okay.
Maybe 132. We'll see how we go.
Oh, that's not too bad. Awesome. Tys.
See you, Nick.
See you, man.
Bye.
Bye.